Hi guys, it's Carol again. I am back with this week's pregnancy vlog. I started this project last week, and in last week's video, I said that this week I would have updates from a midwife's appointment and from a sonogram. Well, the midwife's appointment didn't work. I live in Texas, and we had winter weather storms, which in Texas just means a lot of sleet and ice, but because that only happens like 2 days out of the year where I live, nobody knows how to drive on it, so everything shuts down and people think that they are dying because it's 29 degrees and there's a couple inches of ice on the ground, and we don't honestly know what to do when that happens. Welcome to Texas. Well, I live in the Texas Hill Country, or Central Texas, and yeah, people just don't know how to react in cold weather. So the best thing for everyone to do is like to stay in, because yeah, there's deaths every year from car accidents, and I'm probably going to try and edit that out. I'm going to try editing this week, because last week I gave y'all like the raw uncut version of me talking straight for like 7 minutes, and this week I would really like to kind of cut out on some of the ramblings, because I didn't notice how much I ramble or get off subject until I watched the video last week, and I was like, wow, okay, we're going to try editing this week. We'll see how that goes. This week I am currently, I have to check my phone because I'm not sure where I am in my pregnancy. 24 weeks and 5 days, which means I'm almost 25 weeks. Yay! We went ahead and did the sonogram. They weren't closed. And the baby was facing the right way, so we now know I'm having a baby boy. Another one. And yeah, I just happen to have a blue balloon in my room because, I have a toddler. So balloons are everywhere. Sometimes they are. But we're very excited. I was actually very disappointed at first. I really kind of actually wanted a girl. But I'm over that mild disappointment. We went ahead and made an announcement. We are choosing the name Jeremiah James, which is actually a name we've had picked out since our first pregnancy. Oh yes, another thing from last week's video, I said one of the things I was doing for my morning sickness was peppermint oil. Well, that was like the only thing I mentioned in that video. Another thing I had meant to mention was my husband makes me health shakes every morning, because the more good nutrition you get in, the better you and your baby are going to feel. And that's just something a lot of people don't seem to get. And I can't keep down prenatals. I can't take down any pill during pregnancy just because of the morning sickness. And so my husband, my midwife, and I got together, did a bunch of research. And my midwife last time was a registered nurse, certified midwife. That means she was a registered nurse and a certified midwife. I mean, that's two different things right there. And she had worked in a hospital for like 10 years before she decided to become a midwife. And so she does have a medical background. So don't ever like take supplements without first talking to either your doctor or your midwife. But later this week, we are going to make a video, I think, my husband and I are, to post about how to make these health shakes, which I call health shakes, my husband calls pregnancy boost, just in case some people have the trouble like I am and can't keep down prenatals, because you do need those vitamins. Well, which I'm not entirely sure will get a lot of views, because a lot of women who are pregnant seem to not take vitamins. That's actually have gotten to be a very big pet peeve of mine, which if you watch my videos, that's like my biggest saying why I named myself Mrs. Peeved, because one of the things that comes out of my mouth all the time is my biggest pet peeve. But yeah, pregnant women don't take vitamins. And the logic they argue, I can't really argue with, is that doctors and people with medical backgrounds often say that vitamins are just ingredients for expensive pee. So what changes while you're pregnant? You can't really argue with that, which is why I get so irritated that doctors are constantly putting down vitamins, saying, oh, they don't really do much, or it only does a minimal effect. No, they do a lot. And while you're pregnant, you really should take them, in my opinion. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm not. I'm going to try and tell you what to do, but I don't actually expect you to listen. Let's put it like that. But yes, we make health shakes every morning, which also my husband takes because while we do make them with what I need in mind, there's nothing bad in them for him, and he could use the extra vitamins. He's not a very healthy eater. So we'll make a video on that. Another thing I was going to talk about is my husband's sympathy pregnancy symptoms. A couple of weeks ago, he came home and was complaining about how he's been eating so much that he just can't seem to get full, which we know is a little weird. My husband is a very tiny guy who does not really eat a lot. And so it was a little odd that he just seems to be constantly hungry. But we didn't really think about it much, and we moved on. And then he came home and was, going, I am so tired. Why is that? I'm sleeping on average like 9 to 10 hours a night, and I can't get anything done at work, which his job is somewhat physically demanding. It's not a desk job, but it's not like super physically demanding. It's like kind of in the medium ground there. And he's like, even my boss has noticed, and I don't really know. He's like, dude, you're taking like several 5 hours. Are you not sleeping? Is your son like doing something, keeping you up all night? And he's like, no, our son sleeps through the night, but I'm just tired. In fact, I'm sleeping on average 2 to 3 hours more than I used to. I used to sleep 7 hours, and I'd be good to go for the rest of the day and have lots of energy. And then he was telling me this, and it just hit me. You're pregnant, honey. He goes, what? I said, well, I explained to him how women's menstrual cycles often sync up because we release hormones, and our hormones try to match up to each other. I said, I've always heard of sympathy pregnancy symptoms, and if someone who stays around a pregnant woman too long, but I've never really given much thought, but women release a lot of hormones anyways, and during pregnancy, your fluctuations are crazy, off the charts. I'm like, my hormones are coming off onto you, and it's making you experience some of my symptoms. And he's like, oh my gosh, that actually makes sense. So now we're telling everyone that I've been pregnant for 5 months, but my husband's pregnant now too. Well, he didn't really have this the first time because he worked nights and I worked days, and we hardly ever saw each other. We didn't sleep together. We hardly ever even had meals together. We just kind of saw each other coming and going. And in the last year, it's only been exactly 11 months actually that I've been a stay-at-home mom, and he has moved to where he works days. And so we're actually spending a lot more time together this pregnancy. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure my husband is pregnant. Another symptom that I wanted to discuss, which I doubt is an actual medical acronym, is TBS, which stands for tiny bladder syndrome. Yes, it's annoying. It's just annoying. You have to, I personally have to get up and go pee probably every 40 minutes throughout the day because I'm drinking so much water to stay hydrated and chasing my toddler around all day and cooking and cleaning and gardening and everything I do. I'm just constantly trying to stay hydrated. Yes, I pee like every 40 minutes. And then at night when I'm sleeping, when I'm not drinking anything, I still have to get up to go to the bathroom like 2 to 3 times a night. And it's just annoying, honestly. That's how I feel about a lot of pregnancy symptoms. I'm like, really? Does my body have to do that? Because I don't think it does. But okay, fine. My body is doing that. It's just very annoying. Let's see, we talked about gender, the health shakes, which we're going to make a video on later this week. I can't really think of anything else because my midwife appointment got canceled. I don't know anything about my blood pressure, my blood sugar results, or the ketones in my urine, so I really can't mention anything else. So that is everything until next week.